Okay, let's read it over this way. Okay. Welcome. We're going to be creating, we've got Gwen,
Karen
from the Keene Valley Library, and we're going to be introducing to you an altered book workshop. Now, these are some books that we got from the library,
right?
To help us figure out how to do altered books. It's an art form, Dummy's Guide to Altered Art and Altered Books Workshop. So welcome to the Altered Books Workshop.
Lots of creative ideas what to do with books when they're too old to be read.
Oh, I know. And being at the library, how many do you have?
Many.
Many. So what we've done is we've offered a number of books for our patrons to come and get, to create. We also put together sort of like a little kit for altered books. And in here, we have some supplies. So before we get started, I just want to give you a little history about altered books.
Yes.
I know, Karen, you've created altered books.
Yes.
And, you know, I've done a little bit of it. I'm more of a printmaker by chance. And then as an artist, I create lots of different things. But this is not a new art form. It actually goes back to about the 11th century. The Italian monks.
Yes.
They didn't have enough vellum to create some of their texts. They would take a knife, scrape off their ink, and they would create new texts and manuscripts. So that's it. But the one thing great about art and altered books is recycling.
Yes.
No recycling. And I have, you know, I've got a book that I found at home. I love the name of it, The Property of a Lady.
Ah, yes.
Okay. And then I found another book at home that had been given to my great aunt, and I loved it. It was called The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And there's beautiful illustrations in this. But I thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to do something different with it?
And I've taken old calendars, bound calendars, and even if the year is very outdated, you can take the art in it and create an art journal based on the art that's already in there and adding your own and elaborating. And I always have thought that I should write a journal. You know, it's like what people do and keep track. And I was never good at it, but I can keep an art journal and just do something artistic every day or every week on a journal. So.
Welcome. And just so you know, we're working on altered books. Talking about our supplies. You know, we first of all, of course, need to start with a book. You can pick some up. You got a book?
Oh, great.
Got it.
So you can have books with pictures
or just
and use
words.
the pictures or just words. And they lend themselves to different things. The one thing that's nice about a book with just words often is the paper is very good for painting on. It's like absorbent. Whereas sometimes books that are have pictures are glossy and don't absorb the ink absorb the paint as well. So it depends what you're going to do with it.
Right. And there's tricks. If they're glossy, I can tell you some tricks that we can
good.
do to use those. But, you know, first of all, you want a book. Okay. And and what we're going to do for today is that we're going to be working on collaging your book. There's going to be lots of different techniques we're going to show you over the next couple of weeks. Today and Thursday, we're going to work on collage techniques. Now, the library gave out a bag of altered book for collage. There's lots of different supplies. If you're local, please feel free to drop by, pick up a book, and pick up a bag. So we need that.
This is Arden.
What's that?
Calhoun. This is Arden Calhoun. My name on there is different, but it's Arden. Hi. I haven't seen you in forever.
So that you're Arden. I haven't seen you in so long, Arden. It's nice. Are you coming from Wisconsin? Where are you coming from?
No, I'm coming from Screen Lake.
Screen Lake. Oh, thank you so much for coming. I'm glad you saw this. I just got your dad's book. Her dad wrote his doctorate here in this library on paper.
Oh, well, how fabulous is that, right?
Yes. So and I just got his book.
I'm not using that book for this.
Okay. Oh, fabulous.
Are you?
Oh, that'll even be better. So one of the fun things about doing this is finding scraps around the house, okay? So, you know, one of the things that I have, what we can do to collage with, cards, playing cards. If you got a deck that's missing a couple of cards, could I use some of those? Whether it be with the numbers or that. I use, we had a graphic novel
That was
That-
falling apart.
falling apart. So I pulled out some of these. Or not magazines, calendars. If you have an old calendar, we can use that. It's for some of the things. National Geographics. We had a quilting magazine at home. My sister was a quilter. So I have all these wonderful
Yeah.
pieces here. Oh, a house and garden book. And of course, my age, I've got an AARP.
Yes.
But one of the fun things about magazines are the different fonts in the magazine, because I might want to cut out, oh, I like this word laughter. So I might decide to use that word somewhere collaging in my book because I like that. So I'm going to put a little more, I'm just going to tear this page out because I like words. Newspapers, if you have newspapers at home, okay? I found these, again, going through my library at home, I have these little tiny books. Now, I could alter them, or because I love the different, this has proverbs in it.
Oh, yeah.
And these beautiful illustrations, I thought they would be fun to cut out, maybe even some of the words that I have in here, okay? So the fun part is, like, I started cutting out words, creative, whatnot. So before we even get started on that, though, we want to talk about themes of our book, okay?
Okay.
The theme could be a holiday that we've gone on. It could be a hobby that we like.
You know, I made one that I was really interested in chakras. You know,
yes.
the inner bodies, and so I made chakra pages of that, of different, you know, of the 7 or 8 chakras. And another one, I love quotes, so I have 2 books that I altered that are just the quotes I love, you know, in different pages.
Right. It could just be what I call an intuitive piece of artwork. And intuitive means like, oh, I just saw these words. Maybe I can create a page using these words, okay, that I cut out. So let's start with our book. We'll get started on starting to create, okay? But again, I have to go through some more supplies. My suggestion is you can use watercolor paints to paint up some.
Got them.
Okay?
Another falling out. That's all right.
Either a glue stick or glue bottle. Glue stick is really good to use, okay?
Okay.
Now, the fun part too about collage, regular scissors, of course. But what about our crazy scissors? The ones that have all these wonderful, okay? So things to think about. Maybe even a craft knife. I had pulled one out. Here we go. A craft knife. This may help. It could be an X-Acto knife. This is a cutting knife or a box cutter, if you so desire.
Yeah.
But that could help cut some of the paper. But those are simple. And of course, a ruler.
Got one.
Okay. You can have
You are
markers.
well equipped, Arden.
Yep. So Artie, even markers around, scrap papers, maybe construction paper. So we've got a lot of different things we can use to start a collage. So I'm going to start with this particular book. And I had all sorts of things that I was collaging here. So when we take a book, we know it's pretty thick. When you take a look at the spine, we add pages to it or add to it. We don't want to leave it just like this. So what I may do is go in here, open it up, and I had started, if you can actually see, I started tearing some pages out of it. So what I'm going to do is, because I want to have some more space, I'm going to go maybe every 10 pages or so, and I'm not going to be, I don't have to be exact, I can see where I've already started that. So I'm going to take a couple of pages out at a time. You want to take your ruler, put it down, and just tear the page out. I might use this for something else, so I never throw away. So I want to maybe take about 2 or 3 pages out at that same spot. And this will give us space to create our altered books. Tear a couple out. And then I'll go and leave that a couple pages, and I'll tear some more out. Let's see where I've torn some already. So I've been playing with this. So like I said, I'm going here, yep, tearing your pages out. I don't know if you can see me. I've got my ruler here. I'm going to go up and get a book. And I'm going to tear. I'm also going to just turn this a little bit so you can see some what am I doing. There we go. Okay. So I've got my book and I'm tearing out the pages. Like I said, about 3 or 4 because we're going to add things to it. This is getting our book ready to work on. So I've started that. So I'm going to go to one of those sections, and that's where I'm going to start. Okay? You don't have to do the whole book at once. You can do a couple and just play. Now, I always say play because I think of art as my playtime. I love art, and here's what I do. If I want, I've got these pages, this is just a regular book. I may decide I want to add a little glaze, a little color to it. And what I can do is I can take my watercolors and paint. And I'm going to show you here. I took some green paint and I just did a light color of painting on this. And then what I need to do is I need to glue it. Once it's dry, so if you painted the page or with the watercolor, you want to let it dry. Now, one of my great tools for helping dry sooner is using a hair dryer. So you can work it to dry, okay? Because we want to get this fast. So you can paint 2 of the pages, okay? While we're talking, you can paint. And then if you had a hair dryer at home, just dry it off real quick. Once that's dry, you want to strengthen the page. So you're going to take your glue. I painted, and I'm going to glue my page down. But I'm going to take, you can take a glue stick or Elmer's glue. And I don't use a lot. I'm actually going to use my hand to glue down a little bit because I don't want to have big globs of paint showing. And you want it to make sure you've glued it down. So here I have my glue on my book. I don't know if you can see. And now I'm going to use my hand and just wipe it down. So it's a very thin layer of glue. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my page, very carefully push it down, and really wipe it down so that the 2 pages are glued. Okay? You could take a wooden spoon, you could take a brayer, and really wipe it down. So they're together. Now, if you find, oops, it didn't glue as well, I could take a little bit of my glue and glue it down, make it a little, there's a little bit more, that's okay. Even having a dish of your glue, and you can take a paintbrush and glue it that way. So I've got that fixed. So while you're waiting for that page to dry, like I said, you could take a hair dryer and dry, okay? Now the part starts. This now is my canvas. And I can turn this into however I wish. Now, I was thinking, one of the most important things when you're collaging is planning out your page. I wouldn't start gluing right away, but I love nature. So this book, I'm going to call it my nature book. But it's also thinking about the name, the property of a lady. So this is a property of me, right? And maybe this becomes a journal of my art. So in all our altered books, what we create is our art. So I use those words that I cut out. I have the word creative. I'm a creative person. I might put that somewhere on here. I might decide, whoops, maybe I want to take a scrap of green paper, glue it on, and I can add that to my page, just like this. I'm going to take my glue, if that's started, thank you. I'm going to glue my paper down. And I'm going to take the word that I cut out. And one of the things I love magazines, just because they have the different font size. Little glossy too, which I like. And there I've started my page, being creative. Okay? But a thing, like I said, I like to sort of plan it out. Maybe I want to outline my paper. I have strips of color paper. I could put them down the sides like this. Okay? I could, one of the other neat things about paper are deckled edges. And how do we create a deckled edge? Is we can tear it. And I don't have such strong straight line. I love the lines of a torn paper. That too could be added to my base. Maybe I'm going to put it at the bottom of my page. It's okay, we can see words from the page. We may cover some of them up, but the words are important too. I'm going to take my glue, and I've created, I'm slowly working on this double page. Again, I'm going to go through my supplies. I love, in this garden verse, I found all sorts of fun little drawings. I think I'm going to use it. There's even words, different proverbs. This one says, until you approach a deep ravine, you do not realize the thickness of the earth. It's a Chinese proverb. And then this one called, the earth laughs at him who calls a place his own. Maybe I'll tear this out, use this. And could I have it in here because I want to add to my page? So we really create, okay? Now, could I, oops, maybe I want to add a background to it. I might take my, I call them crazy scissors. I'm going to sort of frame this page that I cut out. Actually, I'm going to make it a little smaller. I'm going to cut it up, maybe using some crazy scissors, regular scissors. So I'm going to cut this piece of paper here, and I'm going to give it a fun edge. Again, that's what's fun about creating an altered book. I can just use my imagination on what I create. So I just cut out using my deckled edge to create. I might take a different scissor to create a different edge. And there I've created another part of a collage, playing with different things I see. And I'm going to glue this together. The other important thing when you're doing collage, you never want to put your glue on the main page. The paper that you want to glue onto something, always glue the back of it, because we never know if we make too big of a painting spot, glue spot, that the glue will be over and beyond the space we want. So I've got my glue. I'm going to place this on. Now again, you decide, again, it is really important if you want. I'm being more intuitive. I'm just placing things and gluing right away. If you want to plan it out, that's also, deciding. So I have now, again, I'm continuing working on this altered book. I've changed it a little bit by adding, but I still feel like I need to have something more on this. I can see this edge needs to be glued down a little bit more, and I will add more glue. I want to add something more on this edge. Now, here's one of the things I like. I like the tone of the color in this piece of magazine that I pulled out. And I'm going to actually cut it up. And I'll double check the back. Maybe I want to use that for something. But I'm thinking the tone could go underneath something. And you could layer. Again, I might use these crazy scissors. I could tear it. And it may become the base of something else that I put on here. One of the things I think about too is movement. As you place something, you think about the art elements, and you want to talk about balance on when you create this. You want to talk about rhythm. Is there a rhythm going on? I want to add some more words to this. And I know I have this. This might go down in here for creative. The Adirondacks mean so much to me. I have spent every summer of my childhood here up in the mountains. And my grandparents, my mother's side, all came from this area. So there's a place in my heart for the Adirondacks. So this is a piece, and maybe I'm going to hold on to this to have it forever Adirondack, and that can be part of my book too because of how important the Adirondacks are to me. So maybe I do a spread on the book just all about the Adirondacks. So I'm going to hold on to this for another set of pages. I'm going to place this bird up in here to add a little bit more. And this will be, and I'm going to go back through this and see if there's any words that I like to cut out. So what kind of book are you thinking about putting together? Do you have ideas?
Yeah, I love animals, and I also love the Adirondacks. I'm going through some like magazines and whatchamacallits, calendars, and just like cutting out a whole bunch of little pictures that I'm gonna kind of spread out throughout this.
Okay. One of the things too, I know that Karen was talking about glossy pages, right? You can, let's say you don't want to see all the words here. If you have, if you're an acrylic painter, you may have.
No.
Okay, that's all right. But there's something called gesso, and gesso you could. It's something you do to fix a canvas up before painting it. It could be you could put it on a board and put it on before you put on. So gesso, you can actually gesso this page. And you do a light, you can water it down just so a little bit of your words show, or you can cover the whole thing with gesso, let it dry, and then you can add acrylic paints to it and add different things. But that'll be another session for painting, okay? A page. So today we're working on collaging. And like I said, you could do strips. I'm gonna again continue going through my papers. I like some of the words here. So I'm going to cut out these words. So how is your summer going?
Good. Yeah, I'm right now in Spoon Lake, which with COVID and everything, we haven't really gone anywhere, but it's nice. We've gotten out in the woods quite a bit, gone hiking a few times, swimming, everything. So it's just been nice being here. It's a great place to be. Yeah. Yeah, of all the places I could be right now, not being able to go anywhere.
Oh,
I'm in that.
Now, do you love animals? Do you have an animal?
I have a cat and a dog and a fish tank with some bees and neon tetras. So not here though. I spend the summer with my dad. Those are at my mom's. But my cat's awesome.
That's great. So you're finding some more books, huh?
More magazines, yes.
More magazines to cut up. And
yeah.
Like I said, I love magazines because of the different font sizes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just cutting different words.
I have to say, the other thing I like about working together is I like to see what other people are doing because it gives me ideas.
Yes.
So I like to see what you're doing. Can I see what you're doing on?
Sure. Right now, I just have my paper blue right now,
Okay, great.
but I'm working on cutting out like a bunch of different little magazine pictures to put on.
Okay.
Yeah, and like the tones of, I mean, what you're seeing there, Karen.
Yes.
Can I just show them something real
Yes.
quick? So
Yes.
Karen found, these are just different
Advertisements.
okay, coming in. This is for the Wild Center, or the And one of the neat things is taking a look at the tones of color through this. Okay,
Ooh, cool.
isn't that cool? And
Mhm.
I'll bring a little closer. And so this could be something that you could use and collage over it too, like adding words. It could be a section in your page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so that's what's fun about this. And Karen was about to create something with that.
Yep. But I'm going to paint first.
Yeah, I'm going
to because I saw your painting and I just like it gave me an idea.
Yeah.
So.
And like I said, look at the background of this magazine, these wonderful blues that are in here.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that could become like the background of, let's say, oh, I have this bird. I could cut it out and have this bird that I'd cut out of the magazine and have it go in the back. Now she's doing fun because she's blending colors on painting her book. It doesn't just one solid color. And that's what's fun. Now
That's kind of what I'm green coat over my blue here.
Okay.
Just because.
I'm gonna plug this hair dryer in, okay, for you, Karen.
Yeah, thank you.
And that way, you're gonna be able to dry a little sooner. You may want to bring it over here.
Okay, when it's ready.
I'll do that. So.
See, I haven't done art with you, Arden, in a long time. I don't think I ever did, but I missed you coming in the library. So it's so nice to be working with you.
Yeah, same here.
Do you get to Wisconsin at all?
What?
Do you get to Wisconsin at all?
Not this summer.
Yeah.
Or spring break or anything because COVID and everything. But we've been here in Screen Lake.
That's good.
That's been nice.
The other thing I have are markers you could use instead of painting. Let's say I want to add some detail to the edge or going around something. And I have just Crayola markers, but you could use permanent markers, Sharpie markers. I have drawing markers. Permanent markers could go. And so maybe I want to add some details and drawing. I like to do all different kinds of lines. So I'm going to draw on part of my collage. And again, adding detail. So I just drew along the creative piece of artwork that I just did. Can you see that from there?
Yeah.
Okay. And that just adds, it just makes the whole thing pop. Yeah, I'll get it for you. Okay. Oh, wow, that makes such a difference. So here I just drew around the yellow paper with the dots, the polka dots, with the Sharpie. I'll bring it closer so you can see. See how I did those?
Yeah.
And just adding different details. And if you wanted to, it can become a sketchbook. I have a lot of my drawing pens here because I try to sketch almost every day. And if I wanted to, and the fun part too is sketching in your book.
Let's
I did some
Is it too
sketching.
loud?
No, no, that's okay. I think it's not too loud with the hairdryer, is it?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to add some more details. Like I said, I like to tear paper to give it a nice tone. So I'm going to tear. And for those who, tearing can be difficult if you want to, is by taking your two fingers side by side for tearing paper. I always tell my students is one hand's going to go forward, one hand's going backwards. And sort of if they got into an argument, you want to just go away from each other. And I have torn my paper a little bit more on this side, and I work side by side very closely for tearing. Right? And I'm going to add this right into here, tear it right there. I'm going to glue, and I might add some more words.
I'm gonna go grab a hairdryer for mine too.
Okay.
So excited that Arden joined us.
Yes. One of the things too, as you're working, if you have a brayer.
So she just went to get something.
Yes, she did. And that's okay because we have people who are going to be listening, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go get a brayer. You're working there and you're tearing too. Really nice, Karen. I know that I want my brayers. We'll be using brayers more often later on when we do a printmaking program for altered books. But what you can do with the brayer to make sure it goes really hard, you can take the brayer and really rub your glue down, just like this. Okay, so I got a brayer. If you ever need one of those, or you can take a wooden spoon or a wooden doorknob to really push that glue down, and that's what I'm doing with the brayer. Rolling it down really hard, like that. So I've added that onto this page. And now I want to get another word that would be work in there. So I'm going to take a look. I've got creative there, so I don't want to use that same word, of course. That's a, and I know, I just got something that says the poetry of the earth. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to cut that out. It's on the back of one of the flowers, but I don't need that because I know I have more. The poetry of the earth, which it is. We're so lucky to live up here. Consider anything. Oh, look at that, Karen. I like how the colors you're using. Yep. And then we'll put this right in there. Poetry. So in some ways, what I'm doing is more of an intuitive. I didn't have a set plan on what I was going to create. It's just evolving. And like I said, that's sort of more of what we call intuitive art. It's very meditative as we work.
It really is.
I'm gonna actually, this was just an extra piece. I cut it for the green, but I'm turning it over and I love the design that's going on in here.
Yeah.
We're talking about the poetry of the earth. I may start working on the other side and add some more collage going on here. I love this. You could take a poetry book. Maybe there's an old book at the library that they're getting rid of and it's all about poetry. You could cut that up for different lines in the poetry line. Maybe you find a book or a script and there's certain lines in the script you could cut out and add to it.
You can also find the poem in the words and then cross out all the other words.
Oh, what a great idea.
Like I see, we knew that day and its work had begun. I might say, cross out, we knew that and its work, so that I'd have day work and something like that. So I could make the poem from the words on the page.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
That takes some study.
That's true. But that's what's fun about
Yeah.
Ultra Books. We can take the time to work on it. I know that I want to do a little more drawing on this. So I'm going to take my pen and add some more lines. I might go something up here and create more of my mountains. And I think going added onto this page. Oh.
I'm a fan of cherry.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm drawing on my pages, and that's fun too. So I've added some, because we're talking about the mountains, I'm just drawing right on the pages to create some of my work. And I'm still a work in progress. And where did I have that? I'm gonna add something up there. So again, it's fun to see what may be here. I'm going to let this go, and I'm going to actually show some other technique we can do, adding to the collage. And then on Thursday, please join us again, because we'll be creating some more collage. I have more collage ideas for everyone. So I'm going to leave this. Yeah, it's fun on doing. So once you finish, make sure you finish those pages. You have a couple of pages that you glued against it. You don't want to just have one single paper page. You want to make sure I glued this page to several pages, about 2 more pages to thicken this, okay? And that way it'll hold up to your collage. It then becomes like a canvas. Okay, so Karen, you working on this page. When you're done, my suggestion is you glue maybe 1, 2, possibly 3.
Okay.
Okay, and it'll strengthen that page.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you think I should do it before or?
It won't matter. You could
Okay.
do either way.
Okay.
But it's just important to not just have one page and then you got another, the back page will be collaged too.
Okay.
It gives it
Yes.
strength.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to go, and I'm going to go maybe to the next one over here. Now, let's say I want to get rid of all this. Okay. I don't want it just be words at all. Could I go and put another just full page in here, taking it from something else? So let's say I really like, oops, let me see if there's a picture in here that I might like. I'm going to go over it. Oh, I know. So I have this old piece of calendar. I really love the way it looks. It actually fits beautifully into my book. Actually, both pages. Look at that.
Wow.
See this? Okay.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I found this piece, and it's going to fit here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to glue that in right into that double page. And then I can add 2 on top of this even. So I'm going to glue this down. And I'm making a double page spread using my calendar page. And for those who are, from the local area, you can pick up one of these bags of, I'm going to have one right here. It says Altered Book Collage. There's a number of them there, and they have all these different kinds of supplies in there if you don't have them at home. But so many of us have newspapers and magazines, or even the stores have what's going on locally. So you may have a Scroon Lake advertisement kind of things that are in stores you can pick up for free. You can use those and cut them up. It doesn't cost you anything. That's the fun part about altered books. You don't have to go out and buy anything.
Mm-hmm.
Supplies you have at home, right? So I've
Yep.
got the back of this. I'm going to now take my brayer or a wooden knob or a wooden spoon, and just really rub hard to get these glued down. So again, I'm rolling with my brayer. But like I said, a wooden spoon works really well, a wooden knob, and guess what? Even your hands, just spreading it out and doing your hands like this. So I've just made a spread. I'm going to shut it a little bit, and you'll see it needs that extra space because we've, like I pulled out those pages. It's really important these two because once we start adding things, it'll actually make the book thicker. That's one of the reasons why we pull and take things out. So now I'm going to add some more things to this. I know I had a book of garden. I might take some of these flowers that I have in here and add, or I might take some of my words.
I get,
What's that?
I get lost in this.
Oh my goodness, it is. Oh, look at these. I mean, I'm looking at that, and now it's like, okay, what shall I do with this? Now, because this is glossy, we talked about this. It's glossy. I can't use watercolor paints on this, but I could take some gesso, cover parts of it, or acrylic paint will work just beautifully right on top of this. So if you want to have, and you can buy really inexpensive acrylic paints in the bottles, like at Walmart or Target, and bottles of, or Michael's. And those inexpensive, they're like maybe 99 cents a bottle. And you can use some of those acrylic paints and add details to this. So I can even use my Sharpie and add details if I want. I mean, and I can draw right on this. But really I'm working on collage. So let's see, I got it now. That just gave me an idea. I'm looking for colors. Ooh, I just see this red, and maybe this red becomes a part of my sunset that I create. Maybe it becomes part of a rainbow. I'm going to see other tones. When I take a look at this, I'm actually looking, so I'm looking at this magazine, what can I use? I could use some of the textures from the fabric on the clothing to use. I could use the background colors. If I'm looking for these colors, I can use these colors for the background. Oh, wow, look at this. This could become a really beautiful night sky. Here, okay? So magazines are fun to look at, and we have to look at it differently. Yeah, I see all the people. Do I want people in mine? Maybe not. But, ooh, now, Karen, you are doing some really interesting things. Look at the design here on this Gucci and taking a look right here at this design right in here. And maybe something like that could be used. Look at the design right in the back. So a lot of times when we look at this, we're going to first look at the people. But I also look for design and texture as I'm looking. Okay? So does this give you ideas? I see it looks like your brain is really working there.
Yeah.
Oh, and just let's say I need a tone, color. Take a look here. Look at this purple that's in her dress.
Ooh,
All right,
pretty.
maybe I could cut that out just for the color of it. Now, you were working with the New Yorker catalog?
Yes, yeah.
So in the New Yorker catalog, there's wonderful cartoons.
Yeah, that's what I'm using.
And people and the way they did it. And so those are fun. Oh my, I'm looking at, again, I'm a fabric person. Two, look at the designs in this fabric. Again, I'm not looking at the model, I'm looking at the fabric and the paper that I could use. So these could come out. Karen's having a lot of fun with her collage over here.
Yeah.
Are you glued down a little bit?
Nope, not at all.
Oh, okay. So this is important. I'm going to just borrow this a second.
Yep.
so they can see. Karen is working on hers, but she hasn't glued it down yet. She's planning it out. And it's really important you plan out first and then glue. And you can see the different papers and the words that she's using to create her page. Ooh, I like this word.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Scissors. Okay.
Did you get?
That's right. It's not a problem.
I'm fine.
Special moments.
Arden, we set up this room down here in the library. It's called the Makerspace, and we just have, it's filled with craft supplies and paints and beads and buttons. You would love it. You'll have
that
to come
sounds
sometime
cool.
when we're open, when we open again. Are you pretty
Sure.
much staying home, or are you up and about a bit?
No, pretty much staying home. I mean, obviously we're getting out in the woods, hiking,
Yeah.
jumping rivers and, but not really going anywhere like other than like making runs to the grocery store. Other than that.
Yeah. Is your dad up?
Yeah, I'm here with my dad in Screen Lake right now.
Oh, that's good.
So
Tell
that's
him
fun.
hello from me.
All right, I will.
There's some things I like fussy cut and some things I like torn.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Fun. Sometimes even the pictures give you an idea of what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I like how I'm going to make a waterfall coming out of that spot. You can be very precise. You can be very abstract in this also. Karen, you're having a lot of fun
I
picking
am.
out some really cool things out of that magazine.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love collage, I think, is one of my mediums.
Well, you look at like this child's play. Ah.
Whoa, thunder on my end.
Yeah, we just heard some too. We had last week, the people here at the library heard, we had, a thunderstorm, and I was in my kitchen standing, and all of a sudden I saw a lightning bolt hit the cabin. And, thankfully, there was no fire from it. Nobody got hurt, but it took out the well pump. It took out our phone line. It took out, we had a cell booster because we don't get internet or cell phone much down there. And it took that out. So we're still working on getting that fixed.
Did you get to the insurance?
I haven't gotten there either.
Yeah.
It's We'll get there.
Yep.
I just love words. Becomes almost a poetry thing.
Yeah, I'm going through magazines right now. Couldn't out a bunch of words.
So what kind of words are you looking for?
I've got adventure, memories, brook, lake, cut out so far.
Oh, great. You know, the other fun thing too, I want you to know, let's say I see some letters in here that I like. I could cut these letters up and create, so let's say I'm going to take this F, I like that F. I might cut this F out. And all of a sudden I'm thinking, what word do I want to say? Oh, there's an N. I want to get a U somewhere because I want to write the word fun. And I'm going to look at the typefacing in the magazine. Ooh, I like the letters in this. If I need some other letters. Like that. I'm going to take a look for a certain, if I want to write words, I'm going to take a look through the magazine or a newspaper and come up with the letters. Here we go. Letter I want. And sometimes you might like different colors. That's the other fun part of this. So I found those letters. We've got about 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Okay, and I just want you to know that we'll be back on Thursday at 11:30, continuing working on our collage. Next week is printmaking, I believe.
I think so.
Yep, we're gonna do printmaking on how we can create our own stamps. And
what materials are we gonna need for those?
so
There's a website, Arden, at the Keene Valley Library website. And if you go to resources, and it lists there, I think the materials you need for each session, or it will at the end of the day.
Okay.
But they'll, let's say, so I'll let you get, here's an idea I want you to think about. Let's say your meat comes in a foam tray. You know how if you go to the grocery store and there's a foam tray? Try to get one of those. Wash it up, add a little bit of bleach water to it, and save it. And then I'll show you what we can do with it. Okay?
Okay.
Cardboard. If you have any cardboard, and maybe even some, I think I saw it down here. I don't know what kind of things, supplies you may have at home, but if you have any craft foam, okay?
Some of that one.
Okay, or if you have any regular stamps.
Okay.
That you can stamp something on, and I'll show you how to create things with that.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes you have some of these things that are, they come in a bucket, and I'll show you how we can create stamps using these.
Cool.
Now, if I wanted to, could I use some of these in my collage? Of course I could. So maybe I'm going to add that to there. Okay. Oops, I've got ladybugs. So any found object that you have, you can use as a collage. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
We'll keep those in there so we know where they are. But feel free to email me, email Karen at the library if you have any questions. You can,
Okay.
and she'll pass them on. I'd be glad to help you out. Like I said, it's sort of fun. I'm looking for another N. Or let's say I want to just cut the letter out. I can't find, so sometimes I just might make my own letter. And so I'm going to create my own letter by cutting out of the newspaper. Is that right? No, of course not. There we go. And so I just created a letter, just cutting it out of the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the color of it, and I just cut it out. I might need to do a little fixing of it. Oh, look at that. Smaller to larger. So I'm going to glue these down, and I'll show you what we've created. And Karen, would you be able to show what you've created today?
Yeah.
And any of the, if you would like to show us too what you've created so far. It's always fun to see what everybody's doing. Borrow this.
Just putting this last.
That's okay.
I'm really surprised I was the only one in here today. This is really cool.
Well, you know what you can do? if you have friends in other places, let them know about it, because
And they can, and this one is recorded, so they can come and catch up.
Cool.
Yeah. So this is open to anybody. I have a friend who is putting it on her library website so that she has some crafting ladies who are interested. And, I've sent it out because sometimes this time frame may not be the best for others. And like I said, this is the fun part too is you can continue working on this afternoon, and it'll be fun to see what you created when we get back together on Thursday at 11:30.
Definitely.
Of course you may.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
Look, fun moments it turned into.
Yeah, oh, that's good. Yeah, that's great.
So here's one. I had taken my calendar page. I started cutting out words. I just thought
cool.
Everyone deserves a chance to fly. I have my, this was a dragonfly that I found in the foam. I cut the word fun using different letters and fonts. Fun moments. And I continue working on this. Then the other one that we worked on earlier today, and I'm still not done, is I've started drawing. I've used words. I used a little bit of poetry. And Karen is going to finish up.
So
you can please show your.
okay, so
Art.
here's mine. It's the theme is everywhere and nowhere, and it's merrily we roll along, and it's trucks and walking and bandmasters and canoeing and the earth, just a theme of going somewhere else.
That's really cool. I have so far, but I have so far that I think I'm gonna like draw some mountains over here that go through. But hi.
Oh, it's fun.
Hey, Karen.
Hey Josh, how are you?
I'm doing well. You're having fun down here, I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're creating 100 books.
So Josh, I just got your book. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, cool. Thank you for getting it to the library. That's
You're
wonderful.
welcome. I was happy to see Arden here this morning.
Yeah, I was excited to see the announcement, and this is
That's
perfect.
good.
And like I said, Arden, please feel free to tell your friends about it, and they can join us.
Yep.
We're going to meet again on Thursday at 11:30 through the Keene Valley website.
So-
Okay, good. I'll be there.
And there's a concert, we do concert series also on Wednesday nights, and we post them on our website. So it's called Music from the Back Porch. We're doing everything virtually this year. So
I saw it, but this is the time on the flyer that I was looking at. What time do they start?
the concerts
Hmm?
or this 11th, this starts at 11:30.
Oh no, is Martha Gallagher going? Is it Martha Gallagher this week?
Yes. So Martha, and it'll go up tomorrow, and then it'll be up for at least a week.
Gotcha. And what time does it a live con? I mean, is there a time it starts, or is it just recorded and then it's there?
It's recorded.
Gotcha. Okay.
So whenever you start it, that's when it starts. Get
Live for
yourself a
us.
picnic, sit down, enjoy it, It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right.
Well, it's
I
great.
have to go back to work. So I'll
Yeah.
see you. Bye, Arden.
Bye. It was
Bye.
great to see you.
Bye,
Yep.
Fred. Thank you.
Bye, Karen. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No, it doesn't. It's not a.